Hey, good evening, everybody. The man that's in the place tonight, Marvin Smith, aka Black Coffee, no cream, no sugar. But no, I'm just coming on tonight to talk some this Friday night talk. And just recap the whole week. And being able to to be able to come on and go live, it's been a very intriguing thing for me. So many people have asked me, said, Marvin, how come you don't become a teacher? Well, that's another topic. So basically, just to recap the week, the tax returns are winding down as of April 15th, which is this coming Monday. Many people will try to go out and get their tax returns done. So very hectic. It's been a very good tax season for me so far, and I usually do tax. I do taxes beyond April 15th, going over to sometime November. So I'm very thankful for doing them all year round. From February to April 15th, that's when it's busy season. But I just want to come on tonight and just talk and just, you know, talk about anything. But one thing I want to talk about is striving to be the best at what you do. And when I say striving to be the best at what you do, as a man, when you know yourself and you have the opportunity to acknowledge and know who you are as a man and how you're going to move. And as a man, who I am, I'm not concerned about how you feel, but most of all, I'm concerned about how I move in space, and how I operate in space, which is coming from laws and principles, living as within the law, meaning that what? Growing up as a child, as I know my story, I was born in Brooklyn, New York, um, and born in Brooklyn, New York. First started off at Pulaski Street and Bedford Stuyvesant, off Pulaski and Troop Avenue. Then me and my mom, we moved to Gates Avenue and Troop, still in Bedford Stuyvesant. And then in 1976, we moved to Albany Projects, 205 Albany Projects in 1976, which was in the month of February. So the reason why I mention that is every man has a beginning, has a start, and that start starts in the womb of your mother. And meaning that what? Life begins in the womb. Yet the mother's the first teacher. Because how she nourished and take care of her womb while you're living inside her placenta, while we're living inside the placenta, for our time to be born and when our mother give birth to us as a man, it's very important that we build ourselves up with the knowledge and the wisdom and understanding. And as a man, from our life, from what our parents teach us, what our mother teaches, what our father teaches, and everyone around us, how it affects us. And it influences us on how the way we think and how we move. So that's one of the most important things. So me being a man, I always try to walk in my own path, yet understand the laws and principles, not only taken from the Bible, but from many of the books that I've read. And life will also give you principles and things that I've gone through to make me the kind of man that I am today, a man who has pride, a man who doesn't take any shit off nobody, or a man who walks in wisdom, a man who knows when to speak. But when I do speak, the room give attention to me. All eyes are on me when I speak. All ears are paying attention to hear what I have to say. Um, the other thing is my energy and how I move. People know when I'm coming. Um, so with that said and done, I try to be conscious. And one thing as me being a man, being firm in what I believe in and firm in my decisions on how I move. And this dealing with life in general from different aspects. Because me being a man, that means I'm able to adapt to my surroundings. Me being a man, understanding that what I must stand on my square. Like Malcolm X said, a man that stands for nothing falls for anything. And Malcolm X was one of my who I consider manhood for me, who the man that I truly admire. And after I read his book, which was written by Alex Haley, who was also the writer and the producer of Roots, that we all know that came back out in the late 70s. So when I read about Malcolm X and his story and where he came from and being on the streets of Harlem, they used to call him Big Red. Why? Because the color of his hair was red, actually. He used to hang with Red Fox, who all of us know played as uh, Fred Sanford on Sanford and Son. But Malcolm was in the streets and he did a lot of things. So when he went to jail, he got knowledge of self and he joined the Nation of Islam. And in my opinion, he's one of the greatest speakers of our generation and of our lifetime, and of everything that he spoke. And what it showed you, what Malcolm, how Malcolm inspired me was to read and to get the knowledge, to get the understanding. So when I look at Malcolm, I see manhood. When I look at Malcolm, I see pride. When I look at Malcolm, I see a man who lived by laws and principles. When I see Malcolm, I see a man that's courage. When I see Malcolm, I see a man that's bold. When I see Malcolm, I see a man who's charismatic yet witty, but yet also funny. So that's how I see Malcolm X. And so this has been a long week. A lot of tax returns, a lot of engaging with people. And I just said, well, I just wanted to come on tonight and just talk. Oh man, and say that you know what, no matter what position you in, sometimes you have to cut your grass. Meaning that what you have to learn to cut people off, or separate yourself from people who are not going on the same path you going on. Um, in order for you to do that, you have to leave your feelings out of it. You can't involve your feelings if you're trying to separate from people, because the same feelings that you have will convince you to stay in the type of relationships that you're in. It could be you're in a relationship with your wife, your husband, it could be your children, it could be your friends, and also could be your family. So a lot of times you have to make that unpopular decision that satisfies you. It's unpopular to others, but it has to be popular to you in order for you to move and achieve and get those goals that you want. Sometimes, and I always say this, a lot of time on your journey, sometimes you have to put yourself first. Right, you have to put yourself first, because there are gonna be many people that's gonna try to stop you. So the problem with a lot of black men today that's walking around, especially those that's in the streets, they can't think beyond the streets because technology has taken over. So many of our young black men today are killing each other left and right. So many young black men today are dying. 5 and 4, 5 men, or 5 men, or 5 black men are getting killed here in the city of Philadelphia, which they call the city of brotherly love, which I say is the opposite. It's not the city of brotherly love anymore, because why? Christ said something that was profound. He said, the love of many, I say again, the love of many shall wax cold. What does that mean? The feeling of love in the world don't exist no more on a lot of levels. So that's why you see a lot of this man yesterday killed his wife. Why? Because she doesn't want him anymore. To me, that's weakness. Love is not about possession. Love is not about ownership. But only very few men really understand what it really means. And I had to learn that love is not about ownership. Love is not about possession. You have to have the strength in your heart to let a person go at any time. I'm not talking about love by fault, because many people love by fault. They find fault and reason to break up the relationship at any time, at any moment. That's why you hear people say, "Oh, relationships are toxic." Where they get this language from? Relationship always going to have problems. There's always going to be conflict between man and woman, or man and man, or woman and woman. As long as humans are here, we're going to have levels of conflict. Everything is. Why is it that if something is toxic masculinity, why is not toxic femininity? Toxic feminine. But we say toxic masculinity. So many people love by fault, meaning that what? They find fault in others and don't take accountability for themselves, and they find fault to want to exit the relationship. Nobody really wants to be together no more. So monogamy, does it really exist? I say no, because the man is not being upfront and direct with the woman and letting her know exactly what he wants. He's pretending and putting on an act. So when you meet a woman, be direct, be upfront with her. You can speak with her in such a way, in a respectful way, let her know what you want. I'd rather have a woman cry than break her heart, because she can get over that. She can get over that crying for that second, but that to break her heart could be for a lifetime. So as a man, you have to be upfront with her. A lot of men are not upfront with the women that they're with, and like I tell my daughter, every man is not a provider. There's two kind of men. There's the provider and the contributor. The man that can provide has his shit together. The man that can provide has his credit together. He has access to capital, access to credit. A man that got his shit together understands his mission and how to go about getting his mission. He don't need the woman to make him whole. He's already whole. However, she's part of something that's whole. So when she's whole, when you have two wholes that come together, whole, WHOLE, come together, now two of you can now work together. That woman is not a liability to you. You as a man, you're not a liability to a woman. But a lot of men lie to women and not being upfront. So let her know. Listen, if she chooses not to be with you, listen, every woman that you meet, you ain't meant to be with her. If you just want to have sex with her, be upfront with her. Don't lie to her. Don't pretend. You understand? Your turnout, the numbers might be low, but you're coming from a place of what? Being upfront and let them know. And that's how you get cut out the BS. So as I mentioned, as a man, how you got to move. So I mentioned about there's two type of men. Every man is not a provider. And a lot of men fall and try to live up to the expectations of a woman. Every man is not a provider. There's two kind of men, provider and contributor. A man that provides, a man that can provide, he can pay all the bills and give his woman an allowance. I say it again. A man that's a provider can pay all the bills and give his woman an allowance and yet give his woman an option. A man that's a contributor, he cannot pay all the bills. He only can pay the cable bill, the utility bill. He has to work two jobs. Sometimes three, sometimes he has to work overtime. He has to rob Peter to pay Paul. But the man that can provide comes in and does what? He has good credit. He has access to money. And I'm gonna put some game out there for a lot of you men. Sometimes a woman, to make yourself valuable, if you're a man who has never been in a position to provide, and that's the reason why I said that most men are leaving from their home or their mother to go live with a woman. As a man, if you never know what it is to provide for yourself, then you don't know how to provide for others. I'm not talking to all men. A lot of men don't have the necessary skills or the understanding or the know-how to know how to provide. So what a lot of men do is, and I did that when I first started out in life, the rule of thumb is you go get your own, even if it's a room or a studio apartment. Go get your own. Live on your own. So now you know what it is the cost to run a household. But if you grew up in a single parent home or even a two parent home, where your parents didn't give you no responsibility or the father didn't teach you on how to write a check for a mortgage, how to write a check for utility bills, understand the difference between credit and cash, even taxes, but credit and cash. So a lot of men, what happens is there's two kind of men. I'm about to say something else. Every man is not a leader. Just because you're born male doesn't make you a leader. Leadership comes with skills. What skills you have that should make a woman listen to what you say, listen to your instructions, if you've never been in a position to do what? Follow, or in a leadership role or telling people what to do, instructing them. Again, every man is not a leader. Either he's going to be a leader or a follower. So the world tells us that he a lot of these podcasts and I say, well, man by birthright is a leader. That's a lie. That's why in the army, in the army back during that time, all the men were not sergeants and lieutenants. Each man in the army had a role to play. Some were leaders, some are followers. But every man is not a leader just because he's a man. That don't make him a leader. So that's why the woman, when you meet her, who are you to assert authority when you don't know what, you never been in a position of authority. You never could take direction, or you can't follow direction. Sometimes you can't even follow simple directions. So why should a woman listen to you? See, what happens is this: you as a man, you got to build yourself up to put yourself in a position. How you gonna you going to live with a woman that says she has a house? You could be the smartest guy that she's ever met, but if you could say that money, if you could say that save your woman money by being good with your hands, why do you think the neighborhood mechanic is very valuable? Why? He can fix a car. Or the neighborhood guy who just know how to put sheetrock together, sheetrock, who know how to put doors in and do different things around the house. That's the kind of guy that's appealing to the woman. Why? Because if you don't have no money, you got bad credit, she's gonna have to seek seek out a company or the neighborhood guy. Sometimes that guy just want to drink. We should have some of those. He can be a crackhead, but can be a mechanic and know how to fix a car. If you wanted to get him to do something, after he done, just give him some money, let him go buy some crack or alcohol. We all know those kind of people growing up in the hood. We know those kind of people. But those are things that happen. So when I say Friday night talk, just talking about a lot of different things. Maybe a lot of you had a great week this week. A lot of blessings came in. A lot of you was able to accomplish and achieve goals that you set out to do. That's a blessing. And when you start to achieve things and things are going right, the most important thing is never cancel out your blessing by the way you think. What do I mean by that? Let's say, for example, it says, if you speak to the universe will obey your commands. I say again, it said that if you speak into the universe or speak into the existence, the universe will obey your commands and manifest the very thing that you speak. That's why the Lord said that what nothing should come out of my mouth void. So the words that you speak should not come back void. They should manifest itself, whether it's good or bad. That's why James, in the book of James, said what? Life and death is in what? The tongue. So meaning that whatever comes out of your mouth is self-fulfilling prophecies. We are creatures of what? We are creatures of our own destiny. We create our world. not only physically, but mentally by the words that come out of my mouth. So, for example, let's say you say, well, you know what, Lord? I want you to bless me with money, but you never throw a conjunction in there. But maybe when you do that, you are canceling out the blessing. You say, well, I want money, but then you come back and say, you know what? Money's the root of all evil. You're not going to get her. She's not going to come to you. Why? Because the way you feel and think about her, why would she want to, why would money want to be in your presence? You ever wonder why you're always broke? Because you hang around broke people. And I always say this, broke people always giving away their time and money. I always say that if you cannot afford to give money away, don't loan it out. Because a lot, 9 out of 10, you're not going to get it back. Again, if you cannot afford to give away money, don't loan it out because you're not going to get it back. And a lot of you do that. You rather give others before you give yourself. You treat others better than you treat yourself. But then you say, well, everyone is taking advantage of you. No one is taking advantage of you because you're allowing it to happen. So learn to put yourself first sometimes. Learn to treat yourself sometimes. A lot of you say you love yourself, but then the truth is you're not in love with yourself. Again, a lot of you speak surface level. A lot of you say you love yourself, but you're not in love with yourself. You're lying to yourself. So if your week has been productive, your week has been the outcome of what you manifest, what you spoke, outcome of what the work you put in, and you can see the fruits of your labor. And everything that one or two things that you accomplished this week, you need to glorify that. You need to live in that glory. You need to acknowledge that. Stop downplaying your blessings. People say, oh, people that ain't going nowhere will always tell you, you know what? You need to be humble. No. Glorify the blessing, live in the moment, and say, I am thankful for prosperity and success. For prosperity and success will always find me. I'm always in the presence of prosperity and success. So stop downing yourself. Stop speaking negative of yourself. In order for you to get ahead, you got to leave what's behind so you can focus on what's in front of you. As I always say, life is a classroom. We all must pay tuition. And a lot of you don't want to pay to get the knowledge. Either you're going to pay with the money or you're going to be the lesson. Don't become the lesson. Learn the lesson first so that you can understand how to execute the lesson. So what I mean is that what? No matter what you're trying to strive for, what you're trying to do, they're going to be haters. Haters is part of life. What you going to do about it? What world you live in? Everybody ain't going to love you. Everybody ain't going to like you. Everybody not going to accept you. The problem is you too busy trying to get those that don't give a shit about you to accept you when they already cast their opinion of you and made their judgment on you. You're trying too hard to get them to like you and love you. And guess what's going to happen? They're going to tell you what? You haven't changed. You're still the same person. And you tell them, listen, I have changed. No, because they already judge you already. They have an opinion of you. And they also have an opinion on how they feel about you. That's not everybody, but there are some people, no matter what you do, they will never, the box that they put you in, they'll never see you outside that box because they already have you inside of a box. That's not everybody. That's some people. Sometimes you have to let go of your relationship. Sometimes life is trying to pull you away from that person, but guess what? You're going off these memories and listen to these love songs. And these love songs are a trap to get you to go back to a person who don't really love you or care about you. That's why Neo said it best. Don't listen to I remember the song when Neo when he first came out. And Lee, you know that song I'm talking about. But when he first came out, and he was talking about don't listen to these love songs, and it's true. When you listen to a lot of these love songs, and you're at a place where you're sad and you're brokenhearted, it's not good to listen to some of those songs. Why? Because now you might think about giving that person another chance when they're not well deserving of it. So I just say that whatever mission you on, whatever you set out to do, don't let nobody stop you. Don't let nobody stop you. You keep pushing forward. And the person that start out with you might not end the journey with you. I say it again. The person that start out with you might not be the one that see you through your journey. They could be temporary. And a lot of times you make those people who are temporary, you make them into what long term when they're meant to be short term. I say it again. A lot of times the men and women that's in your life, you want to make them long term, but sometimes they're meant to be short term. They might start out with you, but they might not be the one that see you through your journey. Because sometimes life is a sport. And the world is an arena. Is an arena. We're all in this big arena. And this sport is called life. Right? Everyone is competitive. Some are not competitive. Many of us will do whatever it takes to get to where we got to go. So life is a sport. And the world is a big arena that we all trying to coexist in. And everybody's not going to be successful. I say it again. But that doesn't make an excuse why you can't make an effort. Everybody that's born on this earth doesn't mean they're going to be successful. But that doesn't mean you can't try. Life is a sport, and the world is a big arena. It's competitive. This is a competitive sport. Either you're going to be up for the challenge or you're going to back down. Either you're going to succeed or either you're going to fail. So whatever you're doing, do it in a strategic way. Don't you run on your job because you're so emotional, you're tired of your boss, you hate your job. And then when you lose that job, you realize that you go on unemployment. Now you realize you got to pay the mortgage. Your car note is $600. Your car insurance is full coverage if you finance the car. And depending on what kind of car it is, if it's a BMW, you know you're paying $600 to $700. Why? Because that's a luxury car. Now your mortgage is $1,500. You got to pay water bill, gas bill, property tax. You got the cable bill. You got the cell phone bill. Man, you got so many bills. And then inflation is high. The cheapest meat is pork. I'll say it again for those that don't eat pork. The cheapest meat in the supermarket is pork. The most expensive meat as far as chicken is chicken wings. Chicken wings cost more than chicken thighs and chicken legs. Why? Because chicken wings is the most sought after of the chicken that we eat. But the cheapest meat is pork. Pork chop, bacon. For those who don't eat pork no more, you might not have a choice. Beggars can't be choosy, right? Yeah. So inflation is high. Gas is going up at the pump. So when you got a car, I drive like how I drive. What's $20 to fill up on 87? I don't get a full tank sometimes. Then when you go food shopping, you spend $100, you come out with 2 bags. And for those who eat organic food, like I said, if I don't grow it, it ain't organic. Because they can slap a tag on anything. Whoever thought that we'll be buying water? The water come out though. We used to drink water out the pipe. or at the Johnny Pump. Remember back in the day in the summertime? You open up the Johnny Pump, and everybody going to Johnny Pump and get wet because it was hot. Or people drink out the Johnny Pump. We do so much when we open the Johnny Pump, and the water would come out. Now, I never thought that we'd be buying bottles of water. We'd be buying water. We buy everything. Soon we got to pay for air that we breathe. If the government can make a way that we pay for air, guess what happens? We'll be paying for air too. We're paying for water, something that's God-given right. The universe says water's supposed to be free, but you paying for it, right? I'm talking about drinking water. We're buying bottled water. We no longer drink out the pipe because a lot of this has a lot of lead in it, like Flint, Michigan, or Chester, PA, where there's a lot of high lead in the water. When we was growing up, we drank all that lead, I think. If you grew up in the hood or the ghetto, yeah, we did. And then at that time, nothing happened to us. But now you start to see the effects of it. A lot of children born with autism and stuff like that. Some children are slow due to all the lead that's in the pipes. So, but like I said, inflation is high. The cheapest meat that you can buy is pork chops or pork. I've been eating a lot of pork. Sure. Gotta eat. I grew up on meat, right? So, eggs is going up. Cheese is going up. Getting a banana from Wawa is like $1. And sometimes a banana can be old and rotten, but I don't eat no rotten bananas. But I'm just saying, I'm being funny. You go to a giant supermarket, you might get some 3 apples, and the grapes, which are seedless, they're not real grapes, but they're seedless grapes. They can come out to like $10 or $12. That's more than a box of Captain Crunch. If you think about it, you buy that old all. Listen, if you ain't got food stamps and you barely can make it, you eat out of 2 places. You eat out of Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, but like I said before, you go in the organic section, you paying $12, and you don't even grow the food. How do you know that food is organic? All you do is stick a stick on there. If you're not growing the food yourself, how do you know it's organic? Because they told you that it was healthy? How you know it's healthy? We grew up on grapes that had seeds. We had oranges that had pits. Apples that had seeds. That grew natural from the earth. Now you got watermelon. When I was coming up, watermelon was something that you ate in the summertime. Not in the wintertime. Maybe it's just me. So the cost of inflation is high, especially if you're living in New York. How much it costs to have a studio apartment in New York? $1,500, $2,000. Go up to Harlem. I remember Harlem went from Black Harlem, and they got gentrified to where it's the way you can't even hardly recognize Harlem, because back in the days, Harlem is rich with what? Black history, Black culture. And I saw in the 90s, in the early 2000s, the transformation was just called gentrification, and it priced out a lot of Black-owned business that was in Harlem, and they had to leave because it priced them out. The rent went up. So if the rent go up, how can they have a place to do business? So with inflation going up, gas prices going up, the interest rate is going up, high credit card debt, people are getting laid off. A lot of these jobs nowadays where there's a lot of commercial space in the city, they was talking about that in New York, down here in Philadelphia. Why? Because during COVID, once people started to work from home, there was no need to have a company now rent out office space when now they can connect everybody online. You understand? Through Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, or Citrix, whatever they was using. Now people was able to log in from home to a cloud server or a network and working from home. And what that did was a lot of business now you can work from home. You don't have to go in the office no more for some jobs. So things have really changed. And the job market is where people are getting laid off. In California, people that own homes, State Farm dropped their home insurance. Why? Because they declare those areas are high risk due to a lot of earthquakes and what they call wildfires. So people that's in California, State Farm dropped them from home insurance. Okay, so that's another blow. Then another issue that we have here is a lot of immigrants come over here. They was able to leapfrog those who came through the system that way to where California, that Governor Gary Newsom is giving them $300 a week as like an unemployment benefit type. A lot of legal immigrants are being able to get loans as first time home buyers. When you have people that's born and raised here can't get a loan from a bank or a credit union, they got to go through a subprime and get the highest rate. So, and crime is out of control. The the governor or the mayor, which was the first, she's the first black woman mayor of Philadelphia. She went through one of the, I think, the worst. When you talk about drugs and people on Philadelphia is one of the highest rate of drug users. Drugs like fentanyl. There's so much people that's hooked on fentanyl, um, of course, cocaine and crack. So she went through Kensington, which is in North Philly. Oh my God! If you see this place, it is amazing how these people are still alive. So she's speaking with her mouth, saying that she's gonna clean up that area, but I doubt it. She's just talking. But crime is out of control. Where you have young black men dying every day. People are dying every day. Men are killing their wives. You have young boys here in Philadelphia shooting inside, shooting at people, shooting at a bus, or those who celebrate. I guess you have a lot of black Muslims in Philadelphia, and they just had a shootout in North Philly. So things are really getting rough out here. You got young men, 12 and 13, 14 years old, doing carjacking. Um, there's a lot going on. And this had nothing to do with the last days. No one know when to end. People hope that it ends, but no man knows the hour, the minute, or the second. No one knows anything. So if anyone say otherwise, don't believe them. Why? Because many false prophets, false teachers will pop up. Many are called, and what? Few are chosen. Many will call themselves preachers. Many will call themselves life coaches. Many will call themselves motivators. Many will call themselves experts. Many will call themselves gurus, master teacher, master class. Many are called, but few of them are truly chosen to do the work. Many of them call themselves preachers and pastors and deacons. No, that's just a mask for their wickedness and their wrongdoings. That's why you have to study, get the knowledge, study and show thyself approved, rightly divine the word of truth. Your truth might not be my truth. Just because it's true to be doesn't make it true across the land. Every man or woman must search out their own soul side what? Soul salvation. Salvation is deliverance. Everyone must seek out what? Their soul salvation. And they shall know the truth. You should know the truth as you find it. And that very truth shall make you free from whatever's enslaving you or whatever's holding you back. So what's true to me might not be true to you. And what's true to you might not be true to me. That's why they call it a difference of opinion. As long as you got your own mind and you can think for yourself. So I just wanted to come on here tonight. I just wanted to touch on, I guess I talked about a lot of things. And I talked about the manhood. I talked about as men being direct and being true to yourself. Stop trying to lead with your wallet. Stop trying to impress women with money. Stop focusing on what's between a woman's leg and what she can cook. Because if what's between her legs and what she cooked is the way to your heart, then that doesn't say much about you as a man. That should not be the very thing determined for you as a man that you want to make this woman your wife just because she could cook and what's between her legs. You need to focus on her mind and what is her strength, what is her weakness, and what she can bring to a relationship. And a woman should never come empty-handed to you. A woman's a pet? No. A woman should come with something of offerings to you, like she expect that from you. So the main thing as a man, and I see a lot of men on Facebook. Oh my God, making these comments. Listen, as long as you're dealing with a woman, you're gonna argue with her, but that don't mean you back down to her. No, you don't back down to her. But you gotta be direct with her. A lot of you men are not in a position to be with a woman. And I'm not talking about finances. No. Your mind is not right. Something's wrong with you. But you expect a woman to respect you. Respect is earned. A lot of you men, when you're going being with a woman or you living with a woman, you gotta earn your keep. And stop wanting her to tell you how much she appreciates you when that's something that you're supposed to do. Yeah. So a lot of you men are sitting up here complaining, but why? Listen, if your mind is right and you got your shit together, you don't make every woman your wife or your woman. You gotta test her out. See if she's about you. It ain't how much you give her, it's how much she can take off of you. So a lot of you men, you're walking in, you're going with this mindset that all women are the same. All women ain't the same. Maybe it's you, how you move or how you roll. If you want to be with more than one woman, let that woman know. If you want to be with more than one woman, instead of practicing monogamy, practice polygamy, where a man could have more than one woman. But don't try it in your relationship if you two never practiced it before, because it ain't going to work. A lot of you women figure that, oh, I'm going to get another woman to spice up the bedroom. It doesn't work like that. Because what's going to happen is you never know who you bring in your bedroom. Now your man is more attracted to her. She turned him on more than what you do. So now you want to blame the man. No. You had no business bringing another woman in your relationship because technically, if you got to go through all that, then why be with him then? And if that man told you how he was up front, then why are you with him? And for you men, if you want to be with more than one woman and you let the woman know, and she said, well, you know what? Let's see where it goes. No, you don't deal with her. You don't deal with her. You don't deal with a woman that said, oh, let's see where it's going to go, or I'm going to try. No. She's either with it, yes or no. If she can't make up her mind, let her go. And when she's ready, then let her come back to you. Because it ain't going to work. That's the issue. A lot of times, and you that got that notion, it's funny when people ain't got no money, say, well, I don't need money for love. You a liar. You a fool. That's a fool way of talking. You can't separate money from the equation. You can't. So, what I say to a lot of young men, get your shit together. Stop trying to live up to these women's expectations. Because there's different levels of the game. There's different levels of the game. And a woman can know when she's around a man, a weak man. She'll know. If you're the type of man that can't make up your own mind, she'll make it up for you. And once she start making it up, then you put her in, then she'll be telling you what to do. Again, if you're the kind of man that can't make decisions on his own, then she will step in and make it for you. And a lot of you men, you might be meeting women who are very successful, but you're approaching them wrong. How you gonna go to a woman who's independent, who has become very successful? How you gonna tell her, as a man, you the head of the household, when you living at home with your mother? Or you never reached that level of success. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the level of success. But yet you feel as a man that automatically she's supposed to listen to you. What world you been in? Life don't work that way. In order for you to meet her at her level, you got to be doing something. Vice versa. You want a woman to meet you at your level. You don't want to be with a woman. Don't love a woman based off her potential or what you want her to become. It ain't going to work like that. It's not. Because then you going to get mad and blame her. No. When you met her, you already knew that she was a liability. But you felt that if you invest your time, money, and resource in her, that you can motivate her and change her. I'm not saying it can't happen, but it's going to take a lot of your time, your money, your resources, and stop you from doing what you got to do. Because you're not loving her or accepting her for who she is. You're loving her for what you want her to become. And when she don't live up to your expectations, then you're angry at her. She was whatever she was when you met her. If you cannot influence her to change, it's not going to work. And when I say influence, I'm not talking about manipulate her. I'm talking about just by the way you move, how you go about your business, how you a leader, how you accomplish things. That's going to do two things. Either she going to step up or step away. Either she going to try to block you or try to assist you. So one of those things. So a lot of times you men make mistakes is you're not protecting yourself. Meaning you're going around having sex with women but not having condoms. So now, and I made a joke one time, it was funny. I said, yeah, there's a lot of mistakes walking around. One night stands. When I was young and dumb and full of you know what, I didn't want to do that. But as I got older, and I realized I was paying child support, and now I don't pay it no more, trust me, I'm a firm believer. Wrap it up. Even if she's on birth control, don't go by that because sometimes women can game you. A woman can game you. You don't let her give you the condom because she can poke holes into it. And you don't go by, oh, she's on birth control. No. She can game you. Women got game so good is that she can trick you to believe that she's pregnant when you first met her. But she can go buy a pregnancy test right offline and say it was hers. Or you get anything off the dark web. She running game on you. Oh, she don't need to wear it because I'm on the pill. No. Men control the birth. Women have power over life and death. I'll say it again. Men control, we as men, we control the birth. Yet women have power over life and death. Because once that baby is inside of her, she has the power over life and death. That's a great responsibility that a woman has. She has that power. For those you men out there say, well, a woman is a weaker vessel, you don't know what you're talking about. When a woman has power over life and death, that's supreme. For those you men out there that believe, oh, women are the weaker vessel, you will be a damn fool if you think like that. Ask Adam. Ask Samson. How you think a lot of pimps got into the game because the women turned them on to the game? How do you think a lot of Macs got into the game because a lot of women turned them on to the game? So how the woman is the author of game. So if you all came from a woman, got a name from a woman, and a game from a woman. So for you men out there think that women are the weaker vessel, you crazy. But that doesn't mean you can't learn the game and get knowledge of self on how to deal with women. All right. So the main thing is, this is Friday Night Talk with Marvin Smith, aka Black Coffee, no cream, no sugar. I'm just having fun tonight because I'm feeling good. It's been like I said, it's been doing the tax returns and giving out business advice and talking about credit, how credit scores work from a personal perspective. And I was talking to a new client today. She owned a hair salon, and I was talking to her about. I was just touching on so many things, and sometimes I don't realize when I go deep like that. That's why when you go to my website and you read about all the reviews that I have from people all across the United States that have come in contact with me, it's like I'm like a fountain that they drink from. And it's kind of like when it says Solomon had the wisdom, all the people came from the east to hear Solomon. So as a wise man, sometimes I'm on an island by myself. And I thank God for being in this position. A young man who grew up in Albany Projects is living proof that it's not where you're from, it's where you at. Because I'm black doesn't mean I can't go far, that I can't achieve anything that I put my mind to. I want to thank Ms. Bowser. I don't know if she's alive or deceased, but she was one of my teachers back in what was it, IS 210 or Automotive High School. She's my English teacher, and she used to make fun of me where I talk. And for some kids, it would have crushed them, but for me, it inspired me to read and read a lot. So when people come in contact with me, when I open my mouth, they listen. When I open my mouth, they want to attach themselves to me. When I open my mouth, they want me to tell them what to do, how to do it, what more about. And to make it where they sure of themselves, they need to run it by me, and I tell them what to do. So when it comes to leadership, that's a lot of responsibilities, man. It can be taxing on my health. I already got diabetes and high blood pressure. Somebody said, well, Mom, why don't you be a teacher? I said, I'm already a teacher. No, you should be a motivational speaker. I'm like, nah, that's too much work. Always made a joke. Why did Jesus go to the mountain by himself? He had to get away from the people. Why? People always want something. There's no such thing as in life, anything like, there are things in life that are free. It comes with a cost. So I thank God for the position that I'm in. Sometimes it's stressful though. I will admit it. A lot of time when you are in my position, you get challenged too by people because they feel inferior. It says that one's intelligence can bring out the insecurity of others around them. So that way you hear that where people are playing hating because there's something about you that they admire or despise. And There's nothing that you can do about it because why? As long as you continue to be you, you're gonna get those reactions. That's part of life. That's part of reality. Okay, you can't get everyone to like you. If that was the case, this world would be boring. You're not gonna get everyone to like you. Everybody's not gonna get along. I don't know what world you come from. And love does not conquer all. There's no such thing. If love conquered all, then there wouldn't be no jail. There wouldn't be people that's in jail who commit murders and commit crime if love could conquer all. You gotta deal with the reality of life from a real life perspective, not some fantasy world. That ain't life. Not something that you made up or wish to be. That ain't life. You gotta deal with it as it is. So, um, like I said, I'm just expounding on different things. Wasn't really no topic tonight. I said, well, I want to go live. I want to go across Facebook. I want to go across Instagram. This is my second time going across Instagram. Soon I'll be adding TikTok to my Restream subscription. I'm already going to 6 platforms at one time. I will be going through Zoom because I can use Zoom to go through Facebook Live, and I want to have guests. I want to talk to different people. I did start another company, but I want to talk to different people from different walks of life, and I want to, I want to explore their minds. Kind of like the show that I like the most is one of my favorite shows on YouTube is called Soft White Underbelly. Oh my God, the guests that he has on his show, those people that said Christ said go out get those people. These people come on that show. I'm not talking about the everyday 9 to 5 people. I'm talking about peps and holes, murderers and crooks, gangbangers. This is what he have on the show. And here's my philosophy of thinking. You can learn from everybody. Everybody's a lesson. Everybody's a teachable moment. I can learn the game from a pimp, but not attach my lifestyle, not attach myself to the lifestyle. I can learn from a prostitute or a hoe. There's education in all things. They're teachable moments. There's no one person that know everything, right? So they're teachable moments. So you have to live your life. You have to enjoy your life. But I think a lot of you men, you gotta let go of your teenage life. A lot of you trying to live your teenage life. You was once 16, now you 50 something years old, acting like you was 16. When you gonna become a man and put away childish behavior? When are you gonna become a man and put away childish behavior? Pull your pants up. Walk like a man. Talk like a man. You 40 years old and you trying to hang around 17-year-old boys. Something wrong with you. Why as an older man you want to hang around teenagers? Because you haven't grown up yet. You ain't become a man yet. Something wrong with that picture. You gotta let go of your past, your childhood, so you can evolve and develop more into a man. Paul said, what? I spake as a man. I did things as a child. I spake as a child. I did as a child. But when I became a man, I did what? I put away childish behavior. A lot of you men out there 60 years old acting like you 30. Yeah, running around acting like you 30. Half of you got diabetes, high blood pressure, low blood pressure. But yeah, you trying to be down. Man, come on. So a lot of you men out there grow up, become a man. A lot of you 40 years old, 50 years old, hanging on the same block. As a man, you got to move and explore. Man, we're supposed to be hunters. We're supposed to be exploring. How can you be on the same block for 30, 40 years and never been nowhere? Hell, you ain't never been to another borough, let alone. So as a man, you got to grow up and be one. You got to grow up and be a man and let go of your childish behavior. And I believe a lot of black men, and no knock on hip hop, but I think hip hop in a way has stunted a lot of black men growth to where they don't want to be men no more. Man, yeah, I grew up on Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, the Cold Crush, Grandmaster Caz, Melly Mel, the Fat Boys, Houdini, Tila Rock, Rakim LL, of course, Big Daddy Kane, Cameron. I was there when hip hop first started. But nowadays, in my opinion, I think hip hop have stunted the black man's growth because he doesn't want to be a man. He wants to be a teenager, a child. Why did they make that movie Baby Boy? Why? Because the black man still is in his diapers. That's why he said, I'm going back to my crib. What man speaks about a crib? When you're a grown ass man, I'm going back to my home, my house, or my kingdom. I never said as a grown man I'm going back to my crib. I'm implying that I am a baby that I sleep in a fucking crib. Grow up and be a man. No grown man said I'm going back to my crib. I don't care what it is. When you're a man, I'm going back to my house, my castle, my kingdom, and my home. Not a crib. What do you wear diapers? You want a pacifier? Grow up and be a man. So I want to sign off to everybody say, I wish everyone health, happiness, prosperity, success, and the abundance of all things. And if you need business consultation, if you want to talk about credit education, you want to talk about taxes, you want to talk about accounting, you want to talk about business funding, reach out to me. Email me at info@sbfsllc.com. Again, info@S as in Sam, B as in boy, F as in Frank, S as in Sam, LLC.com. You can hit me up on my Facebook page, Smith Bookkeeping. Follow me. There's a lot of information on my Facebook page on finances, a lot of videos that I made. So I want to say good night to everyone. Be safe. I just wanted to come on here tonight and talk about Ish. Marvin Smith, a.k.a. Black Coffee, no cream, no sugar. All right? So everyone, good night.